What's up, everybody? We are back. John Delarose here, delarose.com. That's DELARROZ.com. If you are here for the first time, I am a comic creator. I've got a newsletter, and you can sign up for that and get a free graphic novel from me. And I've also got my link to my Amazon page down below, where I've got a lot of different books. So please check those out. Appreciate everybody who reads the books, watches the channel. You guys are the best. All right. I don't often buy single issue books anymore because I prefer trade paperbacks or even larger collections if I can help it. That way I can kind of read a whole story at a time before I forget what's going on, which is a problem with like monthly or bi-monthly comics and all that. But I saw that Downcast had been made into an Alterna comic. And this is a Comicsgate comic that has had a lot of buzz over the last several years. It's by Clint Stoker, who goes by Sweetcast. And he's been very successful with this. And his artist, Ignacio Lazaro, does a beautiful job. I've always kind of been envious of this art as I've looked at it, at least the previews on the campaign pages. So I've wanted to check it out, and this was a great opportunity to do so. Alterna Comics reprints these, and they do so in 22-page chunks. I believe this comprises the first volume of the crowdfund, and they do it on newsprint, so they can kind of give you a inexpensive way to read comics. So each of these is $1.99 and about 20-something pages each. And it tells a pretty quick story about these people. Pretty fun stuff. Let's get into the actual volume here. So it starts out in this like kind of futuristic-ish world with flying cars and a city where they're at called Strata. And there's this like group that's kind of Hydra-ish who is trying to steal this orb or whatever. And there's these two people who are window washers who get caught up in the middle of this theft and then see all the murder and all that stuff going on. The art's awesome. I love Ignacio's art. I think he does a stellar job. The colors are fantastic. It's all the way perfect. And honestly, I got into this. This is some of the slickest writing I've seen out of any Comicsgate book. There's been a lot of Comicsgate books over the years, and I am very, very impressed with the world building in this, with the characterizations in this, with the pacing of this, with the dialogue just being very polished. This is really second to none. What happens is they start to fall off a cliff, and this girl gets this orb that these guys were trying to steal. It turns out it's got a bunch of power. There's this senator who is trying to get it, and for his own nefarious purposes, to bring back this goddess or something who keeps being referenced over the course of this. And the girl decides to pose as the goddess. Now, it turns out she's brother and sister or these are brothers and sisters, and she is going to use the orb to try to like bust her father out of prison, basically. They also call a journalist to try to expose this whole syndicate that's going down over the course of this. And the journalist isn't sure, and that kind of ends the first issue. The second issue starts off with a recap on the first page. I don't know if this was in the crowdfund version or not. You can kind of skip that first page if you read these back to back. You know, it's very helpful if you are getting it every couple months to remember what's going on. But they start their little break-in attempt and all that, and start to meet with this senator. They run into some action problems with his goons. And there's a cool little double-sided poster in the middle of this. So if you are into the art, which I really am, this is kind of nice. I don't think I'm going to pull this out of here, but I do absolutely love the art. Absolutely love it. This is one of my favorite artists I've seen come through Comicsgate. Very clean all the way. I love the layouts that are kind of old school. They're not all the way full bleed, which I appreciate. I kind of like having the distinguished panels like that. It reminds me of like an 80s comic, you know, a little bit more than some others. It's got a little bit of a steampunk aesthetic here with the guy. And eventually, it looks like the dude died, the senator, the evil guy, but it ends with a cliffhanger. And he has his eyes all weird because he swallowed a piece of that orb. So we'll see how this continues. I'm going to check out the actual crowdfunds that he still has up. He's got volume 3 up right now. I think this covers volume 1, if I'm not mistaken. And then I can read volume 2 and volume 3 directly from Clint Stoker also. I'll put that link in the description below for people who want to check it out so we can support Comicsgate Comics. One of the top Comicsgate comics I've read, period. I would put this probably in the top 5 that I've read, maybe in the top 3. Maybe I'll do a video on what my favorite Comicsgate projects has been so far, if you guys would be interested in that. All right, hit that like and subscribe button. This is a 9 out of 10. Great stuff. Highly recommend. And we'll be back soon.